Good evening, fellow patrons. In today's video, we break down the easiest and safest high round strategy for Van Dorn Farm, available to play now on the Black Ops 7 beta, which is available until Thursday morning. You can use this to unlock the round 50 calling card Tip of the Spear, or if you are just wanting to reach the round 100 milestone. This strategy is extremely easy to execute and can be done with or without gobblegums. I believe everyone is given one of each ultra gobblegum, so if you want to speed this strategy up significantly, I would recommend popping a Perkaholic or Hidden Power. As always, I will have chapters throughout the video for your convenience. The weapon you load in with does not matter all that much, as you will be relying on the ray gun and trap for the majority of the match. I would recommend a lighter gun that you are comfortable with and are also accurate with. I personally loaded in with the M8A1 because I had its level maxed out. However, you will be trading in your guns for guns with higher rarity that are spun in the mystery box. So I would not pack punch a gun until you have a blue rarity gun or higher. If you are not using gobblegums, you will need to be conservative on how you spend your points, as you will need to purchase perks and pack-a-punch at least 2 weapons 3 times, so get it to tier 3 pack-a-punch, which is 6 pack-a-punches is equivalent to 100,000 essence. I also purchased Vulturate as my first perk because it significantly increases the rate of drops from enemy kills, and the longer you have this perk equipped, the more essence vials you will be able to pick up, and therefore the more points you'll be able to save up. I then purchased Jug, Deadshot, and Quick Revive in that order. In this particular match, I only packed my rarity weapon once, and then when I spun a legendary gun from the box, I only pack-punched that gun once as well. There is a trash bin located in the back left corner of the map called Chompy that can be used to gain a significant amount of salvage and even a free ray gun. To go about interacting with Chompy, you will need to melee the lid until it pops open. Once the lid is open, you can place your weapon in the trash can for an exchange of salvage. The higher the rarity of the gun you place in the trash can, the higher amount of salvage you will receive. Doing this continuously will eventually cause Chompy to spit out a ray gun. Just FYI, you can only exchange up to 3 guns every other round, and Chompy is also not active on dog rounds or the special rounds that give you a max ammo. I call them dog rounds because they were, back in the day, dog rounds. You will need to do this throughout the match to execute this strategy successfully, as you will be crafting score streaks from the crafting table. The first 2 pack-punch upgrades for the ray gun can be reached fairly quickly, but you will start to run into ammo issues in the high 20s and early 30s if you rely solely on the ray gun to eliminate zombies. You cannot afford to do this, as ammo is 10,000 essence, and you will never reach tier 3 pack if you elect to buy ammo for the ray gun. This is why you will need to slowly upgrade your melee weapon to max rarity. Melee and combat axes will be your main method of eliminating zombies during this time. I would suggest using this part of the strategy until you have both your melee weapon and ray gun to tier 3 pack, your desired perks, and a 30,000 cushion of essence prior to moving on to the high round strategy. Once you are completely set up, you will need to pivot to using the trap to quickly pass the rounds. At the beginning of switching to this strategy, the duration of one trap will be able to eliminate all or the majority of the zombies in that round. After round 40, a doppelgas will spawn in at the beginning of each round. It can spawn in various areas around the map, so you will need to be on the lookout for it. You need to focus on shooting the doppelgas with your ray gun, as the doppelgas is too strong for the trap to deal with on its own. As you reach higher rounds, you will need to either wait for the trap to cool down or kill the remaining zombies yourself. I found that the quickest and safest way to clear normal rounds was to deploy an RCXD after the trap deactivates. You can listen to the drums that play while the trap is active to determine when the trap will stop. The cadence of the drums will quicken right before it shuts off. I have increased the volume of the cadence at this point so you know what to listen for. At this point, jump off of the truck and run the same route you see me run here. Once you reach the trap trigger, deploy your RCXD and eliminate as many zombies as possible. You'll be able to reach the end of the round if you are able to keep the RCXD running until it runs out of battery. I usually destruct this RCXD before killing the last few zombies so I can ensure the trap has cooled down prior to moving on to the next round. Once the rounds become longer and the RCXD will no longer be able to kill all of the zombies, I would suggest running around with your melee weapon until the trap cools down and reactivate it to finish off the round. Killing zombies with bullet weapons or either of the two ray guns past round 50 becomes such a slog that it's really not worth your time and will only put yourself in harm's way. The combat axe can be deployed extremely quickly and can go through 6 zombies at a time, so this is a great option to eliminate zombies if you're waiting for the trap to cool down or if you're not comfortable deploying an RCXD. Every 4, sometimes every 3 rounds, ZERSA, or Big Bertha is what I like to call her, will spawn in and hop over the fence directly across from you. To call this bear a tank would be an understatement. A full clip of the ray gun won't even wipe out half of her health past round 50. In the early to mid rounds, you can deal with her effectively with just the ray gun and the trap. As you progress past round 50, you will need to buy a mangler cannon. 3 accurate shots at her will take her down. The mangler cannon makes this so much easier, but you can also lead her around the trap, which will cause her to become immobile, allowing you to shoot her with your ray gun. Past round 40, there's a chance 2 Big Berthas will spawn in, which is what happened to me at round 93. Once you use your first mangler cannon, I would pull out your melee weapon and focus solely on keeping your distance from the second bear until the trap cools down. The crafting table is in a very dangerous spot, and there's a high chance of getting trapped when you are trying to purchase a second cannon. Once you hear the signal that the trap has cooled down, navigate on top of the truck again and focus your ray gun shots on her to bring her down. Combat axes are also extremely effective on her as well, and I've included the entire round so you can see how I went about navigating the map after the second bear spawned in.
Hey assholes! I think your buddy dropped this!
The dog rounds, as I like to call them, go by extremely quickly when you use the trap. These creatures are so fast and it is dicey to take them all on without the trap at high rounds. I like to wait until almost all of the dogs have spawned in before jumping off of the trap. You can watch for the last one to jump over the fence to tell when they are done spawning in. ZERSA rounds usually come following these rounds, so you will want the trap to cool down prior to completing these rounds. I will then run circles around the house that holds the Wonder Fizz until I hear that the trap has cooled down. Keep them away from loot on the ground at all costs, because if they stumble across loot, they will pick it up and burrow into the ground before you can shoot them and pick up the max ammo power up.